Small efforts, done with heart and consistency, can transform an ordinary life into an extraordinary one, because hard work compounds in ways that aren't visible at first but become undeniable over time. The principle is simple: tiny daily actions stack, multiply, and quietly build momentum until one day the results look like overnight success to everyone who wasn't there for the early steps. Evan wasn't the most talented in his class, and he knew it, which is why he almost never raised his hand, never volunteered, and never finished anything that scared him just a little. He carried a notebook filled with half-done ideas, sketches of projects he wanted to try, goals he promised to start next week, and a long list of reasons why today wasn't the day. One evening, after another day of excuses, he opened that notebook and wrote one line: "Do something small, daily." Then drew a tiny square beside it to tick off. Each day he kept the promise. He called it the Rule of One. One page read, one paragraph written, one push-up more than yesterday, one task finished before opening any app. It sounded laughable even to him, because big dreams seemed to demand big actions. But small actions were the only ones he could do without bargaining with his fear or energy. So he started, quietly, imperfectly, but consistently, checking a single square in that notebook each night. No fanfare, no audience, no applause. After a few weeks, something subtle changed. The work got a little easier to begin, and the resistance that once felt like a concrete wall now felt more like a heavy curtain he could push aside. He added 5 minutes to practice here, 10 minutes to study there, and each time he finished, he drew a small star next to the day's square to mark, went a bit beyond. Most days were unremarkable, the kind of days no one posts about, yet the notebook grew heavier with completed boxes and quiet victories. His coach once told a story about a farmer who had 3 sons who didn't believe in labor until digging the field yielded an unexpected bounty. The point was that honest effort tills the ground where results eventually grow. Evan thought about that often when progress felt invisible, trusting that effort is the seed and time is the rain that awakens it beneath the surface where eyes can't see. So he kept watering. One page, one paragraph, one push-up more than yesterday, and refused to measure his worth by today's sprouts. 3 months in, he noticed he could concentrate longer. His hands shook less when presenting, and his body felt steadier under pressure, all quiet dividends of unglamorous repetitions. The notebook squares began to tell a story his doubts could no longer argue with. Not perfection, but persistence. Not speed, but direction. He added a second rule: no 0 days. If life collapsed, he'd do the smallest possible action to keep the chain intact, even if it was one sentence, 1 minute, one stretch. When a regional showcase opened for submissions, Evan almost skipped it, remembering every unfinished draft and every shaky practice session. But the habit had changed him. Instead of asking, "Am I ready?" he asked, "What's the next small step?" and broke the application into tiny tasks, one box at a time. He submitted something simple, honest, and finished, born from 100 uncelebrated evenings where the only audience was a desk lamp and a promise to do a little more than yesterday. Weeks later, an email arrived. Selected. Not first place, not a trophy, but an invitation to present. An open door earned by the steady tap of small knocks. Standing backstage, he remembered the farmer's field and smiled. There is treasure buried in effort, but it doesn't glitter until the sun meets the harvest. He spoke with calm he didn't recognize as spectacular because it had been built in whispers, one repetition at a time. People called him talented afterward, and he thanked them then went home and drew a square in the notebook, because talent had never filled a page or finished a set or steadied a voice at a microphone. Habits had. He answered a few messages from strangers who said his work inspired them, and he told each one the truth. Begin smaller than pride allows, then show up when motivation stays in bed. He told them to choose one promise tiny enough to keep on a bad day and to protect it like a flame cupped in the wind. Change didn't arrive as a thunderclap, but as a horizon that kept inching closer each time he took a step, sometimes so faint he had to trust it was there. The notebook ran out of pages, so he bought another, then another, measuring his days not by outcomes, but by faithfulness to the smallest useful action. Opportunities grew like branches, collaborations, stages, mentors, but the root remained the same. Do something small, daily, and let time magnify it. Hard work isn't punishment. It's a vote for the future self who will inherit the compound interest of today's effort. Big change is built from minutes that most people treat as scrap. Yet those minutes are gold when stacked patiently and protected from distraction and delay. Begin with one page, one call, one set, one step, and one day, others will call it transformation while knowing it by its true name: consistency,